Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by English Mountain Spring Water. We drink it on the set. As a result, I and some of the others on the show now drink it in our homes as well. You can have English Mountain Spring Water delivered to your home or workplace as well. Visit their website, EnglishMountainH2O.com. Click About Us, then contact us. See if you're in their delivery area. It's not just another water, folks. I promise you that. Zero aftertaste, which I've never experienced with another water. Zero aftertaste, 100% natural spring bubbling up from an East Tennessee aquifer right in Dandridge. It's fantastic. English Mountain Spring Water. Okay, we're talking about culture. Can you build a culture in a world where everyone leaves? And I'll give you an example. If you went over to Paris Island, where the Marines are training, and now suddenly, hey, there's a transfer portal. Don't like it, you can leave. How many of those guys do you think say, no, I like the beating I'm taking over here, I'm staying? Because now, if Arlie Ermy is barking at you, you don't have to shoot him like Private Powell. You just leave. I'm out of here. I'm not saying that Rick Barnes runs a military-style program over there, but he's a tough coach, yes. Chuck. You've talked about. I just wonder, Rick Barnes, who was an old-school coach, you got to practice, we play one style of defense, et cetera, or somebody else. I mean, John Calipari hasn't exactly been tearing it up the last couple of years either. Is it possible to build culture in the current setup of college sports with the free transfer that we're all a fan of? It's good for the kid, but is it good for programs?
No. I mean, you had 2 one-and-dones last year. Okay. This year
That's
you
different,
got another
yeah,
one and done.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is
the overall
your culture
transience
is exactly. It is hard to build a culture, even if you're getting in great players. I mean, where's your culture then? Your culture is in the lesser guys, the Grant Williamses and stuff that do develop. So I think the portal and the one and dones, I mean, to me, that's 2 levels of tough to be able to build a culture.
Yeah. And that's why I would say it's probably tougher, especially if you're coming in and trying to implement. But I wouldn't, like Tennessee, I think, has established a good culture within the basketball program. Huntley Hatfield leaving, to me, does not say, if you have Vescovy and Josiah Jordan-James coming back as expected, Zakai Ziegler, Olivier Cumwa, is the culture all of a sudden broken apart? I would say no to that. I think the culture's still in place. Now, do you have enough inside scoring to go win enough? That becomes the question. But I think the culture for Tennessee basketball is still in place. But does it become harder to build moving forward if you're moving jobs going into a place, especially where you recruit high-level talent? Yeah, I think that's tough.
Does it become tougher once James and Vescovy are gone next year?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was trying to say.
Yeah, I think it becomes tougher, but I don't think it's all like. Let's say AD was a good player and Zakai is like Zakai Ziegler can be a good 4-year college player, right? Yeah. So I think he's your next leader probably 2 years from now, and you bring in another high-level talent like you did with Kennedy Chandler. That still is the biggest thing. They need to recruit the talent. I think in 23 they have a good chance to do that.
It's going to be telling. We were debating here in the set. Most of the guys who've left here have gone down a level. You haven't seen guys transfer up or to equal playing teams. We would assume this kid is going to a better program. It's going to. If he doesn't, then we'll come back and say mea culpa. But what could be costly here for Mr. Barnes is, what if he transfers? What if he does the opposite of what Mr. Powell did, coming from Auburn to Tennessee? And he goes from Tennessee to Auburn.
Exactly.
What if he goes somewhere in the conference? Then all of a sudden, maybe he doesn't do well, but by gosh, if he does well, I think that's going to be a negative that's hammered home every time he puts in 10 points a game. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that would amplify the frustration for a quality 5-star player leaving your program with a lot of potential. So, and then also depends on how long the kid's there.
Right.
Maybe he's there for 1 year and then he moves on, and then it just
although
cycles
if he's there
out.
for 1 year, he goes to the
NBA.
Exactly.
But John, if the question is about the culture, to me, I wonder, does Rick Barnes need to recruit players that almost perfectly fit what he's trying to do?
I think they're already trying to do that.
There you go.
And are going to be here for the long haul. Ziegler's, but that's tough to do.
You got to have both.
I know. You've got to have both.
You've also whet people's appetite to where, okay, where's the next 5-star? Because now you're in the 5-star. Once you start swimming with the 5-star guys, it's like, we need more 5-stars.
So you're building a culture. Who has the leverage? Who has the leverage, guys?
Well, and then recruiting too. I mean, you lose Mike Schwartz too. Are you going to be able to maintain a high level of recruiting now with the continued turnover?
He loses a lot of coaches and replaces them pretty well, but still, at some point, it's a lot of brain drain. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thanks to Brandon Huntley Hatfield. He turned this show right on its head. Appreciate that. See you next week right back here on the Sports Source. Vince, run the baseball.